Welcome Shemstars to computer class. In our previous class, we have learned about URL, domain names, protocols, web hosting. Today, we are going to start with HTML, XML, and DHTML. The World Wide Web is an exciting new medium bringing information, images, advertising, and what not to every desktop. Everything that you see on the web is documents written in a special language called HTML. That is hypertext markup language. This language tells the browser like Mosaic or Netscape or Internet Explorer how to display text, pictures, and links on the screen. HTML is a document layout and hyperlink specification language, that is, language used to design the layout of a document and to specify the hyperlinks. HTML tells the browser how to display the content of hypertext documents, that is, documents including text, images, and other support media. A language also tells how to make a document interactive through a special hyperlinks. Though HTML is a language that supports multimedia and new page layout features, yet it has limitations. HTML is not a processing tool. It is not a desktop publishing solution or even a programming language. It is just a page layout and hyperlink specification language. HTML provides many layout commands called tags that let you control the presentation of information on a web page. For example, there are tags for various type of headings, lines, images, alignment, paragraph alignment, hyperlinks, etc. So next and advanced thing is HTML, that is extensible markup language. It is a markup language for document containing structured information. Structured information contains both content and some indication of what role that content plays. For example, content in a section heading has a different meaning from content in a footnote, which means something different than content in a figure caption or content in a database table. Almost all documents have some structure. A markup language is a mechanism to identify structure in a document. The XML specification defines a standard way to add markup to documents. So, XML is just like HTML. Is it true or not? So, answer is no. In HTML, both the tag semantic and the tag set are fixed. On the other hand, in XML specifies neither semantic nor a tag set. In fact, XML is really a meta language for describing markup languages. In other words, we can say XML provides a facility to define tags and structural relationship between them. Since there's no predefined tag set, there can't be any preconceived semantic. All of the semantic of a XML document will either be defined by application that process them or by style sheets. So next we are going to discuss about DHTML, that is dynamic hypertext markup language. So it refers to web content that changes each time it is viewed. For example, same URL could result in a different page depending on any number of parameters such as geographic location of a reader, time of day, previous page viewed by the reader, profile of the reader. DHTML refers to new HTML extension that will enable a web page to react to a user input without sending request to the web server. DHTML, that is the dynamic hypertext markup language, is typically used to describe the combination of HTML, style sheet, and script that allows documents to animate. Dynamic hypertext markup language allows a web page to change after it's loaded into the browser. There doesn't have to be any communication with the web server for any update. You can think of it as an animated HTML. For example, a piece of text can change from one size or color to another, or graphic can move from one location to another in response to some kind of user's action, such as clicking a button. Now let us start with network security concepts. The networking offers endless possibility and opportunities to every user of it, along with convenience. But this convenience and endless benefit are not free from risk, as there are many risks to the networking security. While ensuring network security, the concern are to make sure that only legal and authorized user and program gain access to information resources like database. Also, certain control mechanisms are set up to ensure that properly authenticated users get access only to those resources that they are entitled to use. Under this type of security mechanism, like authorization, authentication, encrypted smart cards, biometric, and firewall, etc., are implemented. The problem encountered under network security can be summarized as follows. First is physical security holes. When individuals gain authorized physical access to a computer and tamper with files. Hacker do it by guessing password of various users and then gaining access to the user, that is network systems. Software security holes. When badly written programs or privileged softwares are compromised into doing things that they should not be doing. Third is inconsistent usage holes. When a system administrator assembles a combination of hardware and software, such as the system is seriously flawed from a security point of view. So let's talk about protection methods. To counter or reduce the security threats received under this category, many protection methods are used. These protection methods are being discussed briefly in the coming lines. First is authorization. Authorization determines whether the service provider has granted access to the web service to the requester. Second is authentication. Authentication ensures that each entity involved in using a web service, the requester, the provider, and the broker, is what it actually claimed to be. Next is encrypted smart cards. Passwords in a remote login session generally pass over the network in an encrypted form. Any hacker can simply record it and can use it later maliciously to corrupt that data or to harm anyone, etc. To counter such threat, never approaches are suggested, such as encrypted smart cards. An encrypted smart card is handheld smart card that can generate a token that a computer system can recognize. Fourth is biometric system. The biometric system from the most secure level of authorization. The biometric system involves some unique aspect of a person's body, such as fingerprint, retinal pattern, etc., to establish his or her identity. Next, that is fifth, is firewall, a system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network is called firewall. Firewall can be implemented in both hardware and software or a combination of both. Firewall are frequently used to prevent unauthorization internet user from accessing private network connected to the internet, especially intranets. There are several type of firewalls techniques. First is packet filter, which looks as each packet entered or leaving the network accept or reject it based on the user rules. Second is application gateway. Applies security mechanism to specify applications such as FTP telnet servers. Next is proxy server. Intercepts all message entered and leaving the network. Next is security level gateway. Applies security mechanism when a connection is established. In practice, many firewall use two or more of these techniques in concern. So that's all for today. Today we were able to understand about HTML, XML, DHTML, network security concepts, and protection methods. Tomorrow we will continue with this chapter with security related terms. Thank you, Shemstars. That's all for today. You can drop your queries on the Google Classroom. Take care.